guys, it's Kristen and welcome back to the Gold Project. Today is my first question and answer video that I'm sharing with y'all. I have been on YouTube now for 6 months. I can't believe it, but I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do my first Q&A video. So I reached out to you guys asking for questions that you had for me, and I wrote all of the ones down on my little notebook here, and I'm going to share all the answers with you right now. Okay, before I get started with the questions, let me just make one statement. I am doing this video in my bedroom so I can kind of block out all the noise from the living room and the playroom area. And my door to my bedroom was shut. Well, I went to open my door to check on my son, and in pops Bella. I guess Bella knew that I was recording something and she had to get in the camera. Well, today I guess she's going to show us her rear end. So, that is why now she's in the back of this video. The number one question that I get asked most often is, what do I teach? Currently, I teach 7th grade keyboarding. I have taught in years past anything from keyboarding to computer applications, anything dealing with the Microsoft Office applications, personal finance, accounting, web design. I've taught basically anything under the business education umbrella. My original degree is in business administration, but I went back to school, and I think it was 2007, to get my alternative certification. That's what they call it when you've got your first degree, but you want to go back and you want to add the teaching part to your degree. So now I have a teaching degree on top of my business administration degree. Then I went back to school in, I think it was 2011, and I got my master's degree in educational technology. The next question that I get asked a lot is, what are my favorite Etsy shops? Now, I had to sit there and think about it. I actually went through my purchases on Etsy to make sure that I didn't leave off anything, but I guarantee you I've left off at least 2 or 3 that maybe I love but I haven't made any purchases from yet. So if I can think of those, I will leave those in the description below with the shops that I'm about to mention. The first shop is Oli Block. If you have seen probably any of my planner videos, you have seen at least one Oli clip that I own. I don't even know how many, because every time they come out with a new one, it seems like I need it. I just made a purchase this last weekend for 2 more sets. I keep them in my editorial calendar. I keep them in my checkbook register, in my planner to hold all of my papers together. They are the most awesome magnetic paper clips, and they come in adorable prints. My next is the Foxy Fix. If you've seen any of my videos, you have probably seen at least one of my Foxy Dories. I have 2. I have one that I use as a wallet, and I will leave that video link below where I showed you my wallet setup. And my husband got me my second one, the dragon fruit, that I use for my checkbook register. The next shop is Pen and Paint, and I have Lindsay's prints all over my house. I have them in my office, my living room, my kids' bathrooms, and I have an ongoing list of prints that I want to purchase to put on in the rest of my house. Next is Farm Girl Paints. If you have not checked out Becky's shop, you definitely need to do so, and I think she's open right now. She only opens for a couple of weeks at a time, but I think this time she might stay open a little bit longer. But she makes the cutest and most well-made custom cuffs. And I own 3 at the moment. I own one that says Make Yourself Proud. This is a brown one. I think this was the first one I purchased a couple years ago. The second cuff I purchased from Becky's shop is called Trust the Journey. And this is the one that I purchased when we made the big move last year. And then my last one that I have is called... I got printed on there or engraved on there, Be Still, Exodus 14:14, which is my favorite Bible verse. And these things, I love them. Let me put it on so you can see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. I'm not a big bracelet person, but I love the cuffs. The next shop that I love is Marine Parents. You have seen probably several of their pouches that I own. I own the iPad sleeve that I put my Foxy Dories in to carry to and from work or to and from shopping, just basically with me everywhere. I also have their project pouch, I think that's what it's called, that matches my iPad sleeve that I carry notepads and lip gloss and all of that stuff in when I carry my purse or my work bag. Next is Woodland Cottage Farm. You've seen probably my 2 planner covers that I purchased from there. Very high quality items right there. Then next is Teddy Confetti. Teddy makes the confetti dories. I have not purchased a confetti dory yet, but I have one in my Etsy cart that I'm waiting to purchase when her shop opens back up. Her shop for me opens up on Fridays at I think 6 o'clock, but she sells out in like 4 minutes. So you have to make sure you're sitting at your computer when the time comes to order. And last is Shining Star Boutique. I just found out about this shop last week and just made my first custom order. She makes the cutest handmade clips for your planner, hair bows, and a few other accessories, so I cannot wait to get that custom order in and share those items with you guys. The next set of questions that I have been asked pertain to reading. Some of y'all would like to know if I am an avid book reader. If so, what do I read and how do I keep track of the books that I read? So I'm going to answer each part separately. Am I an avid book reader? I would consider myself a reader in training. In 2015, my New Year's resolution was to read more. I told myself if I could read 1 book a month for 2015, I will have met my New Year's resolution. So I wanted to read 12 books basically by 2016. Right now, I am on book 11, and it's just September. So I am really enjoying reading this time around. I have never been a reader, and it goes way back to high school. I had trouble with reading comprehension when I was in high school. It was very hard for me to read a book and take a multiple choice test over that book because I would get the gist of the book, but I would not understand the symbolism in the books, and I sure wouldn't understand the little bitty details of everything that happened. So I struggled with reading in high school, and I think it turned me away from reading altogether. But then I thought at the end of 2014 that I wanted to give it a shot. You know, I had all these people that were reading, and I don't know, I just wanted to try something new. I'm not a big TV watcher, so I thought maybe I could get into books. So I did some research, checked out some blog posts with, lists of books that they couldn't put down. So I decided to give it a shot. So I have been very pleased with reading. I have really enjoyed it, and there have been some weekends when instead of me sitting at home watching TV, I have actually sat there and read a book. Like The Fault in Our Stars, I read the entire book in 2 days. And never in my lifetime would I have ever thought that would ever be possible. So, out of the, I would say 10, because I'm on book 11 right now. So, out of the 10 books I have read, still my favorite is What Alice Forgot. This made my very first favorites video in March, and every time somebody wants a book recommendation, I always suggest this book. It has really touched me. I will definitely read it again in the future because I think it's very relevant. In a nutshell, this book is about Alice who goes to the gym, hits her head, gets amnesia, and she loses 10 years of her life. So she has got to figure out what happened to those 10 years and how she became the person she is. Does she even like the person that she is? So, I mean, it has a lot of valid questions that we could ask ourselves today. So, if you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. Now, the book I'm reading right now is The Kitchen House. It was one of those books that I was searching Amazon, looking at reviews, and this one popped up and it was rated very good, and so far I'm really loving it. I am on page 98 right now. Very good book. I highly recommend this one so far. And how do I keep track of the books that I read? Well, I have this, what I call my book tracker. I have taken a May Designs books, and I have added this little label and these little cutouts on the front. So every time I read a book, I document it in this book. So I've used stamps and stuff, and I've got 2016 at the top. And so every month I will put a little stamp, and I'll put that month in the little box, and then I put the books that I read over here on the right. So that's the first page, and here is the second page. So this is how I keep track of every book that I read. And then when 2016 hits, I will do a little heading like I did for 2015. And I know there are apps that you can keep track of books, but I don't know. I'm still a paper and pencil type of girl. So I like to be able to hold this book and feel it and be able to just thumb through it whenever I want to. I think it's more personal if it's written down than if it's on an app. The next question I was asked pertains to the weather. I had some people that wanted to know what the weather was like where I lived and if I budget for weather changes. I live in Arkansas, and it is very humid here. It is hot a lot. Let's see, right now it's September, and it's still really hot and humid here in the 90s. So we're ready for some cooler weather. Normally, when I clothes shop, I am one of those people that I like to buy things that are versatile. I will buy shirts that I can wear in summer and winter. Maybe if I throw a long sleeve shirt on underneath it, I can wear it all year long. So I don't buy a whole lot of things that can't be either or. I don't really set a budget up for fall things and winter things and spring things and summer things. I just kind of buy them as we go. Like for instance this year, I bought both of my kids for Christmas last year. They got these monogram little pullovers that are fleece, and my daughter's still fit and my son doesn't. So he'll have to have new ones, but she's okay with the one she has. So we just kind of know a couple months in advance the things they need. Do they need new rain boots? Do they need new coats? And we just gradually buy those items until like winter hits. So by the time winter's here, we should have everything bought. We don't really go out and say, okay, today we're going to buy, $500 worth of winter clothes. We just do not budget like that, and we just kind of make sure we have the items before winter hits or, summer hits. We gradually buy them. It helps us out a whole lot. We just can't go in one day and spend $500 on clothes. It's just not the way that our family works. Next is all about my KonMari series clean out. And I've got about 5 or 6 questions that pertain to that. I have, what are my final thoughts on the process? Did I like it? Would I change anything? What do I do with the items that I get rid of? What areas do I have left to complete? And would I recommend this to others? So let's take this one thing at a time. Let's see. What do I do with the items that I get rid of? I am a huge donating person. At least 3 or 4 times a year, we will make a donation trip to our local either Goodwill or some type of place that takes donations. I normally do not throw away anything. If I can give them away to somebody or take them to donation sites, I will do that. So I do not throw the things away. I always like to donate them, whether that means to family or friends or to a local donation site. Now, what were my final thoughts on the KonMari series Clean Out? Overall, I think it's a very good book. If you are a person that has a hard time getting rid of things and you hold on to every single thing that you get, the book would probably help you tremendously. It helps you to separate things that make you happy from things you're just having due to pure guilt. I like the book. It helped me. It pushed me a little bit further than I was pushing myself. So I would recommend the book. Now, I am a person that I don't have trouble getting rid of things. I can go through my closet probably right now and pull out 5 or 6 more things that I need to get rid of. So I like the book. The book kind of gave me a little bit of a push, but I was already a person that liked to get rid of things. I do not like to hoard things. I like to get rid of things. I like things to be neat and organized and to have a place. So if you're a type person that likes to hoard things, I definitely recommend that book. Would I change anything? Now, I'm not sure if you mean would I change anything about my process or would I change anything about the book. Let's take it from the book's perspective. Would I change anything about the book? For me, like some of the things that she mentioned, like the stacking methods, and you should fold as many things as possible. I found that a lot of the things that she was saying, you had to have the ideal storage pieces that she was talking about. If you don't have the drawer space, then it's hard for you. Like in my closet, I don't have a lot of drawers that I can, stack things one after another. So I had to pile things because that is what I had. I wasn't going to go out and buy new storage pieces just because I read this book. Now, if you have the ideal systems that she was talking about, then it would be great. But, honestly, I felt like you should read the book and you should adapt it to you. There are some people that would get upset that I have ran across because, you did not follow the book 100%. How can you say this is the Con Marie series clean out if you did not follow her book 100%? Okay, that's a valid statement. But honestly, I did not have the things that she had that she mentioned in the book. I only have a certain number of drawers and a certain amount of closet space. So I could not stack things, one after another. I had to pile them up vertically. Horizontally just was not working for me. So some of my things are stacked vertically because that's how it fits in my household. What areas do I have left to complete? My biggest 2 areas that I really need to finish are the garage and the attic. But right now it is so stinking hot outside that I can't go outside and do either one of those areas. And plus I'm going to need my husband's help, and my husband is 100% football at the moment. So every waking hour he's spending doing football stuff. So once it gets cooler outside and once the football season kind of comes to an end, probably around November, I will tackle those 2 areas and share those with you guys. Okay, now we're getting to some, I guess you'd say, the 2 big personal questions of this question and answer video. The first one is, do I budget for my blog and YouTube channel? And if so, how do I do it? And what if I want to make a large purchase? Do I save or do I splurge? Well, first question, do I budget for my blog and YouTube? Yes, I do. I've mentioned this in I think a video or 2, but my husband and I sat down and we created a budget. I have a budget for if I want to buy clothes or anything like that. He has a budget for clothes and, any extra things he wants to buy. And then we have a budget for our blog and our house. So together the blog and house go together. So every paycheck I have to stay within a limit. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's real easy and I don't need to spend a whole lot of money. But I make sure I pick and choose the right things. Planning is humongous for my blog and YouTube channel. So if I want to make a big purchase, let's say the craft station that I'm in the process of building, I could not go out and purchase all those supplies in one paycheck because that is way over my budget. So what I have done is one paycheck, I bought the shelves. Then the next paycheck, I bought the top and bottom wood to connect them. And now another paycheck, we will buy the top for the system. So that's why you haven't seen it yet, is because we are buying bits and pieces each paycheck or 2. So usually what we do when it comes to a big item is we try to break it up into pieces if we can. Now, on a side note, there are some things that are not going to be within our blog and house budget. For instance, we have several items right now that are on a list of things that we need. We need a new stove. We need a new sectional. And if you're wondering why you haven't seen my living room yet, that is why. We are using a very old couch that we have, that the cushions on the back of the couch are falling off. You can see the white stuffing, but we haven't got to the point to, one, go out and look for a sectional. I really just have to be in the mood to look for things like that. I can't just say, oh, I'm going to go out today and purchase a sectional. I have to be in the right frame of mind. I guess it's kind of like going out and getting a car. So I'm waiting to be in the right frame of mind and for it to come up on the list. Right now, my husband had to purchase new tires for his truck. So once we get those paid off, we purchase those through Sears, so we're paying monthly on those with no interest. So once we have all of those paid off, we will purchase another big item. So those big items don't go in with the Blogging House budget, if that makes sense. They're on their separate little thing, but we can't go out and buy 3 or 4 things. We have to buy one and then pay it off, then buy the next one and pay it off type things. So, I guess you would say, yes, I have a budget, and for those big items, those don't go within my budget. Those go on a separate type of budget, if that makes sense. And I saved the biggest question for last, and that would be, how do I get everything done? I have gotten asked this many times in the last couple years since I started my blog. At one point, I was teaching, doing graduate school, a mom, pregnant, running a blog, and being the coach's wife. I have no idea, and I was still pushing out 5 posts a week. Now, how do I get it all done? Now, it has gotten a tad bit easier because I've decided now that I'm doing YouTube and my blog to not do 5 posts a week. So now you only see 2 posts a week. It took a lot of talking to my husband and convincing myself that it was the best decision for me and my family. So it's gotten easier since I do that. Planning is the biggest thing I can contribute to getting it all done. Right now, my editorial calendar is set all the way through the beginning of November. So I know what to post I'm going to do every week. I know ahead of time what things I need to purchase or things I need to get done to get those 2 videos done in 1 week. Normally, I try to film those 2 videos and start the blog post on the weekend before. So they're ready to go, and I like to have them edited on Sunday, and then I just have to upload them for Monday's post and for Wednesday's post. That helps me a lot trying to get everything done on the weekend. So during the week, I can focus on being a mom and a wife and a teacher. So planning is basically how I get it all done. And that is all for my first question and answer video. I hope you enjoyed seeing the questions that y'all asked and my answers to those questions. If you like the Q&A type of videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope y'all have a fantastic week. So until next time, bye.